First thing that comes to my mind when I think about toxic femininity happens to be the opposite of toxic masculinity. And that's basically around the attack of genders. So more specifically for toxic femininity would be where women use their gender-specific attributes to attack or ridicule men, which is derived from the toxic masculinity, which has been where men have basically done the flip side to it and have abused women based on their gender-specific traits. But interestingly enough, let's look at what it really means and let's explore some more.
Women only suppress themselves when they are not safe, because automatically they're going to express themselves. Men already come out the world feeling that it's a code to express themselves is emasculine. When at the end of the day, women are stronger than men at the end of the day. So for a man, it'll be hard to do. For a woman, it'll be easy to do.
But it's still something that man should do. So.
For sure. Yeah. If you don't, you die.
Vulnerability, but then men should basically be honest with their vulnerabilities.
Vulnerability comes from honesty anyway. First rule should be rigorous honesty. If you can't be honest with yourself from the bone, then delusion is your safety point, and that's not safe at all. Either way, you lost. So I would say just be honest with yourself. But if you be honest with yourself is the first thing, speaking into somebody is being vulnerable. Keeping it to yourself is just honesty.
And if someone attacks you for being vulnerable?
Oh, wrong crowd, wrong audience. And if they attack you for being vulnerable, they're upset that they couldn't do what you just did. Bar.
Okay, yes, to a certain extent, because it has been proven that men are more emotional in conflict, and so men are most likely the ones to like act out. And it's not like a toxic femininity thing, it's just like literally a psychology thing, and females are usually the ones that try to handle the situation, unlike men who don't. But that's not with every single man. It's just like it's more likely in a man than it is in a woman. But it doesn't mean that it's every single man, but it doesn't mean it's every single woman. Like sometimes the woman can be more emotional, so I think it's 50-50.
What you say? I mean, it's factual to believe that men are mostly the perpetrators of actions and crimes. However, it is also better to believe that men can be victims of crimes. If men are not believed to be victims of crimes, then they're not going to be able to stand up for themselves and say that, oh, they have been a victim of crime, and prove to the people that women can be criminals as well.
Like she said, it is factual. Some men have not reported the crimes that have been committed by people who are toxic, like women. But not all women are toxic, it's just a short percentage. But I think that some of them are victims and they do report it. But since I'm mostly seen to report crimes committed women by men, it's not like men are not existent. Like they don't face the crimes that we do, but they do. There's some emotional abuse that men can face due to women, but I do think that women are mainly the victims. But because of like, let's say adrenaline and testosterone, it makes men more aggressive. So that's why they believe that women are the victims more than men, because they have more strength, they have more power in the situation.
Yeah, if I'm honest, like it's none of the latter. Like I feel as though it's got nothing to do with that. When I think about female empowerment, I think about women that's in the industry, the same category as me, that are entrepreneurs. I'm in the entertainment world. When I think about women empowerment, I think about women that are in my industry that are able to see the differences. It seems like it's not competition. It's more so about aligning and growing together. It's got nothing to do with female, male, cat, dog. It's about women as our own individuals that are empowering each other. So, big up the men them, I feel like it's just like we have a different story. All of us have a different story. And I just feel like women empowerment means for us to empower each other in our own domain. Like I feel like our own division, our own category, and whatever that looks like, it means putting another woman's crown and lifting it up. It's got nothing else to do about male, female. That's not our battle. Our battle was about empowering us as females and rising each other up. No, that's what we got taught though. Like, I mean, I don't think it's even like subject just to men. I feel like as black human beings, we've been told we can't cry, we can't show emotions. As black women, we can't cry, we have to be tough, we can't show emotions. To this day, I think that the 1962, 1965 era of my parents are the ones that got it the most, because now to this day, that generation don't show emotions still. I think we've been able to allow ourselves, because of like the mental health awareness to this day and age, that we can open up. I think men, women, men in general, for sure, black men have been taught they can't show emotions and be vulnerable because it is weak. And I'm subjected to that too. Like when I see my brother crying, but like, weak, hey yo, toughen up, bruv, what's going on? But remember, I don't know no different because I've been told to toughen up too. So it's unfortunate that us as black individuals have deprived ourselves the space to be open and vulnerable, because my white friends had therapists at the age of 16, 15. I'm 35, I only just got a therapist last year. So we just don't have the privilege to understand that we can be vulnerable and mentally unstable. But that doesn't mean that you're ill, doesn't mean that you're sick, doesn't mean that you're not on this planet. So you know what? All I can do is worship people that are really, that emphasize the privilege to be able to break generational curses. When you're in a space of financial freedom to a certain extent, that's a bit better than what your parents lived. Focus on generational curses, breaking them, and allowing yourself the freedom of speech, freedom of communication. We got my twin sister right now. I watch her raise her young little king, Prince, and she allows him to speak. Even when he's outspoken, she allows him to be free and cry and feel those feelings, and that's powerful. That's when you're a human being. I learned myself at a very older age that when I cry, I'm more stronger than when I'm suppressing my feelings because I'm weak then. So yeah, boom. I haven't done it. I haven't done it. A lot of my emotional counterparts has been female. But in terms of that, when I think about my brother or my dad, no, I feel as though what frustrates me is that they are part of the reason as to why we're in this position as people that are not able to be vulnerable, but they're part of that cycle, right? So it's after them that will be able to be free. So weaponizing for me is more so to do with more aligned with like baby daddies or baby mamas or whatever. I feel like that type of situation is very prominent, especially in America, that women that have kids with men that are no longer available in that capacity weaponize their kids, right, out of love and spite. But it backfires always, you know. But all I can say to that is, like, you know, everyone's gonna have their own truth and their journey. I can't really say it's right or wrong, because there's some men that actually deserve, you know, that hostility. Also the women too. But all I can say is focus on generational curses. You know, when you're able to get to a level that you're able to shift, you know, the bad alignment that you experience when you're growing up with your family, and change the outlook and the trajectory of the younger ones coming up. That's when you're powerful. That's when you're fucking meaningful. That's exactly when your purpose is met. Peace. Love you. London the plug. Boom, baby.
No, I don't. I think to me, female empowerment, it shouldn't come at the detriment of a man feeling confident. I think female empowerment is just about allowing women to feel confident and feel comfortable in their own space. And I think as a man, if you feel like it comes to the detriment, it's probably more so on your insecurity as opposed to how they maneuver. But for me, female empowerment is simply just allowing one to feel safe as well in their space, I think is a really big thing as well. And just having that safety and having that confidence without fear of judgment or restriction just because of their gender is what comes to mind when I think about female empowerment anyway.
Toxic femininity. I mean, well, I guess what you said could kind of be, I mean, I guess that could kind of be an example of that. Would be, I guess, kind of flipping things, you know, being like, you know, using kind of like the history of women being victims, like to be like, you know, crocodile tears and stuff like that. Like, I feel like would be pretty toxic and kind of the opposite of progress. Yeah.
From in terms of like your experiences with your friends,
Yeah.
do you know of anyone that does that or that kind of maybe fit that kind of bracket?
Not really. I feel like those wouldn't be the kind of people I'd be friends with. You know, we're all kind of like, I like big friend groups, you know, we're friends with guys. You don't really, I mean, want to kind of just make yourself the problem in any situation. And, you know, sometimes you want to take accountability, obviously, and not just flip it on the fact that you're a woman. Yeah. Sort of. I feel like I definitely know some girls who have, but I feel like it's kind of, you know, playing the hand we've been given because with a lot of the heavy sexualization of women, I mean, why not sort of take advantage of that sometimes? And I don't want to say like you can use it to manipulate, but it's like you can definitely, in situations where, you know, a man might be punished more, you can kind of use it to get out of things easier. But yeah, I feel like it's kind of dealing with something that, yeah, like putting a spin on it. Yeah. So I feel like going back to what I was saying, you know, sometimes you can kind of wiggle your way out of a situation, but I think like trying to like flip your vulnerabilities and like, you know, like put on fake tears is not like, yeah, great.
You know what? I'll do a spray on that. I'll say why for that. I don't know how to answer that question, but from what you said and the words you just spat out, no woman can't dominate no man. We're kings, and in my life, I live, everyone's got their opinions and whatnot. But for example, if I have my wife can't be over me. No disrespect to nothing, my wife's under me. I lead, I'm head. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of confused with the question, but from what I get, yeah, it's not. It doesn't work for me. No,
In
no.
terms of like, is the kind of feminist movement thing about
Bun that. All that feminism
is it about
thing.
equality, or is
No,
it basically about
I'm saying no
trying to
straight.
basically
With the
compete
feminism
with men?
thing, competing with men, you're not masculine. All that. There's feminism. No, right. No, I'm not on it. Me personally, a lot of people might be like, oh yeah, fuck this. You see me? When I do interviews, all that, I always get the shits because I'm a straight up real guy. I tell it how it is. All of that stuff, I'm not down for that. That's not me. I'm not into none of that. All that feminist shit, all that this, that, all that. No.
Speaking honestly, yes, I have. Because sometimes as a female, I feel as though we already have a lot of responsibilities put on us. And then having the opportunity to use our gender as not as an excuse, but as a availability to allow us to have less responsibility makes it a bit easier, because women are told that we should like know how to cook, know how to clean, know how to take care of kids, know how to do majority of like the household chores,
know how to take care of a man, know how to take care of the people around us. And there's a lot. And so to allow us the opportunity to like relax and not have to do anything and be lazy, 100% I've done it before. No. I love it when a man can be emotional and can show his vulnerability, because it just shows like his love for you as an individual, whether that's in a friendship or a relationship aspect. A man grows up knowing that he has to be like not toxic, but he has to hide everything. He has to be strong 24/7. But in reality, I don't think that's the case. I feel like a man who shows his emotion, shows that he can cry, shows that sometimes life's not always 100%, is a stronger man than a man that hides his emotions. Because if you're hiding, you're always gonna hide and no one's gonna truly know you. But if you're able to show yourself, show that, you know what, on the days that you're not feeling great, then you're stronger as a person, I think, in my personal opinion. I remember in my first week of uni, we went out clubbing, and I remember one of the guys, he'd just broken up with his girl, and like he was very vulnerable, just out at the club, trying to like let off some steam, drinking, and like, I observed girls just coming up to him, knowing that like he's vulnerable, just to get their drinks, like flirt a little too flirting, and they get drinks from a man who's already vulnerable. And like, you can't really stop it, because especially within clubbing culture too, that's a big aspect. And then on top of that, with a man being very vulnerable and just giving everything that he has, just to feel as though he's like filling a void, is even worse, you know? I feel like toxic femininity has come from...
So it exists.
Like, of course it exists, but I feel like it's developed from like the way men have also treated women, and like it's a comeback, and like men and women are just attacking each other both ways with toxic masculinity and toxic femininity, and really we both just need to show our true selves and truest forms and talk, because I feel like people always communicate, but you have to have communication and comprehension and action. And to have those three all in line is what then leads for like people to actually understand each other, rather than one person attacking the other, and then now, okay, because you've been toxic, I'm gonna be a toxic female to back to the man. I don't, talking is a big aspect, and comprehension too. So, yeah.
The only part I disagree about is when they say, oh, it's fine, a man being vulnerable. Let's be real, most of women say, yeah, no, you can open up, you can tell me your emotions, but as soon as that happens, you give them the ick. So then what's the point? Then as a man, you just feel like, yo, I'm not gonna do that. If I do that, I'm opening myself, looking weak in front of her, and then next time she's just gonna go and chat to the next guy that actually shows a bit of strength, shows a bit of, you know, responsibility, be like, oh, he's the man. And then you're gonna start talking to your friends and be like, no, like he's a bit sassy, he's a bit gay, he's a bit this, like, it's not the one.
It depends on the type of female that you're talking to, because especially in our generation, especially with like the youngest between like 19 to 25, I'd say, there's a big like mixture of types of females. There's the females that just want money, want this. There's the females that actually want something pure. And then there's just females who are like in between both, who are confused as to what they want and are just basically exploring the scene. And you have to know the woman that you want. If you want a woman that's gonna understand your vulnerability and be there for you, be the image of a woman that you want in your life, then you shouldn't go to the like on the street or on the road and find a woman that you find attractive without actually knowing who she is, because then that's the type of woman that will come and say, oh, you being vulnerable isn't what I want, and then go look for a next man. You need to find the type of woman firstly, and like know where you find that woman who's going to understand that, okay, you being vulnerable is actually a positive rather than a negative. And it's the same with females. Females need to do the same with a man. You don't just go looking for someone because you find them just attractive. You go looking for their like attractiveness within their personality and who they are as a human being as well. So yeah.
Me personally, I don't mind. Like, realistically, I can find a girl that, you know, accepts a weak man. But me as a man, I don't show that side of myself. So because as soon as you do, again, like, they look for someone else, or the worst scenario, they can easily just use that against you. Women are the type of women that when hormones hit, you know, emotional time hits, they'll come and say, use whatever you told them against you. And then you just feel like, yo, I opened up. I told you my problems. I told you how I feel. And now, like, you're using that against myself. Like, that's just a bit of a, that's a bit of a bad move. Like, I'm not gonna say bad words just in case, but it's a bit of it's a shit move. It's what it is.
No, it's true though. Like, I get you. I just think like everything is just weaponized nowadays. As in, like, maturity levels have definitely gone down. Like, I don't feel like everyone's really that mature to be in like relationships or things like that. Because like, I feel like it's all for show. Like, everything's very much for show. You see on social media, everyone's posting everything, like good lives, good this, and then next day you're seeing, oh, it's an abusive relationship, oh, it's this, it's that. Like, I don't think anyone's like really grasped the concept of what it means to like understand each other and not weaponize. And like every day, like, there's examples of people just attacking each other all the time. Like social media, like you see like influencers attacking each other, like men and female. And then like you just think it's normal and you just continue in your normal day, like day-to-day life. So like it's not gonna change much, I don't think, until like people actually grow and realize, okay, you know what, this is not it, this is not correct, or I shouldn't be acting like this, and like really take responsibility for their actions. Because I feel like people don't take responsibility for their actions, and then that's when, oh, they weaponize and become toxic. Because if you can't accept that you've done something wrong, then that's when toxicity like appears. And like I think that's basically what happens. So
I agree on that. Maturity levels have gone down. Right now, life is just show and go. Like, everything gets posted. You're in a relationship, you have to post it. You do this, you have to post it. And more time, even when like you're in a relationship with someone and your whole situation, your whole problems are getting shared around the group, and it's just long. Like, your girl is not gonna come up to you and tell you, oh yeah, no, this is the problem I have with you. It's gonna go and tell your best friend or your other friend or tell her best friend, and then you're always finding out for like third parties, but it's not like really a communication thing when it comes and tells you, yo, this is the problem, let's fix it. But I guess that's what it is. That's nowadays, society nowadays, we can't really change it now.
With what you mentioned earlier, about like weaponizing like your vulnerability as well. I feel like men have done the same. Like, men really weaponize on females' vulnerability. Like, when a woman opens up and talks about how she feels, and then next day you find out, oh, her man has gone and cheated, or has done this, or has gone to the club and is talking to other females. Like, you just see it on both parties, and you see it on both sides. And I just feel like because of that, everyone builds up an idea of how the other gender is. And because there's built up anger from knowing stories about other people that you know who've been done dirty, or situations that are alike, that we build up this mentality of the opposite gender, whether you're a man or you're a female, or me thinking all men are shit or all men are trash, like, you know, like, and then that causes all these problems and like all this toxicity to like appear. So yeah, it goes both ways, I think, but yeah.
Right, yeah. Wee. Why, that was, I don't still don't know what to say on that one there, to be honest, still, but yeah, that was a banger. So yeah, people, you have to like and subscribe the thing. But you know what? on a serious note though, yeah, the toxic femininity thing, man learned a lot about how it basically operates and what it's really about. And what I found interesting was more that basically it's actually something that can be harmful to other women and the individual themselves. So that wasn't actually something that I knew originally, but yeah, through obviously compiling the research and learning a bit more and exploring with this episode, yeah, I was able to establish that information really. But I'm going to be coming back to this one again because there's a lot more. It's a new phenomena, the toxic femininity dynamic, and as we know, with the reeltokhub, it's a platform for discussion about things that need to be discussed and ain't really been discussed. So yeah, I'm going to be coming back to this one, and then obviously there'll be a few more, not a few more, but there'll be a lot more of episodes and different scenarios and situations that we'll be exploring. But that one there definitely we have to come back on because it's vast, as you'll see in the next one. It's vast. There's a lot to it that couldn't actually really touch on in this one because it's too much really. So respect again for everyone that got involved and all the audience that basically watched, the likers, the subscribers. Yeah, send some love, and I'm sending love back. So yeah, respect again, and yeah, to be continued. Do you get me? I respect. Bless. Wee.